Reality check. Introducing Dr. Clyde Winter. And on their name, put some respect. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check. For the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, to heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show.
All over. What up, though?
What up, though?
How you doing there, Eve?
They might not be able to see us, Dr. Winters.
Oh. How you doing there, Eve?
Hi. I'm well. Trying to stay dry, I guess. The skies opened up literally as soon as we went live, and then thunder, lightning, and lots of rain. So
Wow.
hopefully we get through this with 0 issues on the Wi-Fi. But
Well, that's terrible. But we need the rain. They say for spring flowers make the spring showers make the flowers.
that's true. Spring. They say April showers bring May flowers, right? But then it's May already. So then I think about the calendar and how the months aren't really where they're supposed to be, right? October being, Oct being 8, but it being the 10th month. It's things are all over the place, and it's almost
They
like
put a spell on you.
Hey, there you go. They definitely got some people under some spells. That's definitely where I want to go tonight. Hey, Isla. Hey, Doravel. What up, doe?
Yeah. Is that Ida or how?
Isla.
Ida?
Isla.
Isla. Okay. How you doing, Isla? Just forget this old linguist. He and forgot how to pronounce words.
It's so funny with Isla. She's got the I with the long pronunciation or enunciation mark over top of the I, and everybody still has issues saying her name. So then on Twitter, she just made it Ieyela, so that people would.
Well, Isla says, "I love the rain. The rain does for me what sunshine does for other people." Well, I'll take my melanosynthesis. But they say some people can sleep in the rain. I'm not that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, when it's raining, I mean, me and Isla, we're kindred. We have this fun conversation all the time. But when it's raining, that might be the best sleep. It's, I don't know if I'm stimming or what, but that pitter patter, it's just the constant white noise rain. I can knock right out.
I don't sleep well anyway. I don't care what time I go to sleep. I'm waking up at 3:30. Waking up at 3:30 every day, and it's kind of frustrating because then I feel like I need to get some sleep, but then I can't get any sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And even now before my baby doll died, I would wake up around 3:30. But she wouldn't let me leave the bed, so Kit, Dell, stay here.
Well, that makes sense if you stirring. I think that if our bodies or our brain hasn't done enough, then it's not time for bed yet. There's something that still needs to be done, but then our very big brains also say that you need rest in order to get to the next step too.
But do you really think it's because we haven't had enough activity? You really believe that?
For sleep, yes.
Yeah.
And the reason I believe this is because when I started working out consistently, if I didn't work out, I felt like I had this extra energy. And when I do work out, I feel like I'm ready for bed. And I don't think it has to be working out as much as I do think that it is a physical push. Like, we have to get it out or we're going to be stir crazy. That's why people sit in the bed until 3 o'clock in the morning just scrolling because their bodies are still wired. But, it's really not time for all it. They should have got all that out during the day, but they didn't.
Yeah.
At least that's my thought,
Well, hey, you're probably right. You know the spell. And the thing is, this is that it's whatever it is, it's there. But I guess because the fact is, this is that I don't know. I've never been a person who could sleep well. You know, and like my sister and my daughter, they're like sleeping beauty. I mean, they can sleep. They can fall asleep and sleep for hours.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's nice, I guess. Yeah, I can't do that either. No, I think my sleep schedule is pretty. Maybe I can sleep for 6 hours, maybe if I got out the energy that I just talked about. But oh yeah, that is true. I love that magnesium deficiency. When I started taking more magnesium or taking it in general, that kind of helped with the sleep too. Do
Oh,
you take
magnesium.
magnesium, Dr. Winters?
What's that?
Do you take magnesium?
Um, no, that's for stomach ache, isn't it?
Um, no, I think that's milk of no, yeah, I think that is milk of magnesium. Don't get me lying. Isla, in the chat, help us out because you've got a whole herb box in your cabinet pantry.
I got the diagnosis. I found out. I know what's wrong. And now, damn, Dr. Frankenstein, Isla, I think you found it, doctor. Maybe it is magnesium deficiency. I'm gonna have to look into that. How you doing? How you doing, Jacaz? 38 and Marsha Byron. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I had to check into that. Like I said, is that I take my regular stuff. Let me see. Take something from my knee to maybe make my knee cooperate. And that's about it. But see, it's hard. It's hard playing football. It's hard, very hard, because you don't know when you're in pain. Because the thing is this is you're always used to just sucking it in, sucking it up. So then therefore you don't really know when you're in pain. So it's kind of hard. It's almost like somebody put a spell on you because you grow up and you constantly have this repetition. Get up, get up, get up, get up, move, 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 move. So you still hear that in your head. You hear that in the brain. When I was younger, when I was in college and high school, if you got within 2 feet of me, you got a forearm. Bam, bam, And so then I had to knock you off. But see, back in the day, we could have fun. We could put a spell on the opposition. We could hit them in the head. We could give them an uppercut, stuff like that. Yeah. You gotta be mean.
Get in there.
Yeah, you gotta get out there and roast them. But this whole idea of spell, spell is very interesting because it's a word that has so many meanings. It has so many meanings, and because of that, it can almost embrace a lot of things. What do you think about that spell?
This is where I love how you've got a word background, linguistic background, or care about words. And I care about words because I feel like people use words wrong all the time. And not because the word isn't similar or have a similar meaning or could be used, but there's so many words, people could get very specific about how they feel about things if they use the right words. So spelling and spells, at least defined by, the dictionary. I had my dictionary. I guess Daria stole it. But, I like that we want to talk about what it means, because the primary definition of words, that's not normally where people go. They go to how they feel, and sometimes how they feel is like a secondary or a tertiary definition or meaning. And again, I think that most people, maybe they just don't know a lot of words. I think they do. They're just lazy. So like the dictionary defines spell as to write or name the letters that form a word in correct sequence. So
and then the other definition.
And then a sign or a characteristic of.
Yeah.
And then we've got a state of enchantment caused by magic, or the ability to control. And these are secondary, tertiary definitions that I think are fun, but maybe there's a reason that you can do a secondary or tertiary definition on something because it's related to the initial thing. So, for example, when I was little, abracadabra or hocus pocus or, just magic words are supposed to be able to open the door or get you whatever it is. But then if you didn't say the right word, then it's not going to open. And then I want to say last year or 2 years ago, I heard you talking about Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about how, if you're not calling the right person or the right energy, then, your heart might be in the right place, but you're not talking to me. And, well, not me, right? But Yahweh, if you're calling Jesus Yahweh, or if you're using all these different names, maybe there's understanding, but that's a huge controlling thing that I think that people try to do. Well, he knows what I mean. God knows what I mean. Does he? Does God know? Does Amma? I don't know. Like, y'all are talking about some shit that I don't know that we have control over or know as much as I do think that where you started, maybe if you're not even calling to the right place or calling the right person, then how could they respond to you? Slaves crying out for Jesus might not have been who they needed to cry out for if they wanted some, justice in real time. But
Jesus, slaves didn't cry out to Jesus until after 1831.
So after 1831 is when is that Nat Turner's?
Nat Turner's, yeah. Mm-hmm. See, after Nat Turner's rebellion, they had to put a white person in every church, and because they put a white person in every church, you see, because the fact is that black people always believed in the one God. They believed in the God of war, Yahweh, or they believed in God as the Son from if they had an Aboriginal background. And see, the point is that they always saw God in relationship to the Son, in relationship to liberation. That's why there was an emphasis on getting black people to get a new God. And that new God was supposed to be Jesus Christ, because see, even though Jesus Christ was taught as the Son of God, the European, the Caucasian, he inculcated in us that idea that Jesus Christ was God, you see, because the fact is that he wanted you to see a peacefulness. He wanted you to move away. Remember, it was 250 slave revolts. We only know about 3. Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, and it's another one that they teach you in school. But we only know, what's that?
Gabriel Prosser is who we teach them and at the school that I teach at.
Yeah, those 3.
Yeah, those 3.
And so then, because that's what you teach them, then therefore, in a sense, but it was really 250 slave revolts. That doesn't take into account the women after they were raped. They might put some glass in somebody's food,
right.
or burn the house down. See, we've been taught so many lies, and they put a spell on us. They've been able, in a sense, to take language and use language to be able to dominate us. I've always loved language because, see, to me, when I was a kid, and I used to like to hide in my closet because, see, the oldest boy in the house, he became Cinderella. My sisters, they didn't have to do any work. So the oldest boy in the house, it was 10 of us. My mother said, yeah, down in Mississippi, they always made the girls do all the work. You're going to learn how to iron, cook, and everything. And I'm glad she did that because now my baby doll is gone and I got to cook and all that type of stuff. So it was good she taught me that stuff. Because when I went away to college, I didn't have to wash my clothes. And I wasn't married then, but the girls, they'd wash your clothes and everything. And so I didn't have to do anything when I was a freshman in college. And then when I got married, then my wife, she took over. So I've always been having someone to do the dirty work for me, Yes, that's bad. That's bad. They put a spell on me. My sister put a spell on me because my sister, she was a teenager. And so then they used to use me as the kissing dummy. Her and her girlfriends, use me as the person they could kiss. That's child abuse. They wasn't tonguing though.
It's not.
But the thing is, let me see. Let me try them. Okay. So then that gave me the wrong idea about life. That made me feel I was a special person. That made me feel I had something that just my presence put a spell over the girls, you know. And so
It
then
might though. Maybe some people's energy can be
it is
a spell. And
some we call it charisma, but isn't it almost like a spell? Isn't it? Some people it's like you know, nowadays girls don't know what a lady is. They don't know what a lady is. They have an idea about what a woman is, but they don't know what a lady is. You know, that's why we got Sukihana, you know, Sexy Red, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, you always when I grew up thinking about a lady, I thought of elegance. You know,
class, absolutely. And that's exactly what I mean. Sometimes the word it means the same. You know, if you're talking about an adult woman or an adult female person, then you would woman, right? But what type of woman? Is she classy? Is she slutty? Is she motherly? Is she none of those? Is she something else? You know? And yeah, a lady. No, I don't think that there's a lot of ladies out there as much as you might see her at the grocery store, you know, or you might see her after church, you know, in specific environments will you see maybe an adult female who's got some class about her, some elegance in her walk, maybe.
you know, that's kind of strange because when you think about it, there isn't. Do you think it's the culture that did that? Because see, when I was younger and growing up, you know, I always felt that a woman could put a spell on you. I always felt in the sense that a woman, a lady, you know, her carriage, the way she walked, the way she carried herself, you know, I didn't say sexy now. I said, but they put a spell on you because it was this whole idea of elegance. You know, all these words that we look in the dictionary that we apply to those type of women. But you know, I think that nowadays the spell is one in which the ladies, in a sense, the blue jeans, you know, the t-shirts, the bonnets, you know, and whereas in the past it was a little bit different. I was listening today to you know Shay, Shay, whatever it is, this stuff, and he was talking to Ocho, and they were talking about women and the gifts they gave women, and they were talking about how they bought them those bags, the YW bags and whatever those bags are, Louis Vuitton and all that type of mess.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then you know, for the $1,000 and all that type of stuff, $9,000, you know. My I don't know. My son and his wife, they would give my wife those gifts. I don't think they cost 9,000. Maybe they bought them in Koreatown. But anyway,
Maybe.
you know, so after she died, you know, all those beautiful purses, and I didn't know what to do with them. I'm going to get rid of them eventually, but I just said, damn, those things are so expensive, you know, hundreds of dollars, and you just don't want to throw them in the trash, you know. But they're very expensive purses, you know. But
You
again,
give them to your daughters, your
my
sons.
daughter, nah, they don't want that stuff, you know, because see, they have different views, you know. See, my wife was a lady. My wife was elegant. My wife was always elegant, even as a teenager. She was very elegant. She always walked straight, all that. Beautiful legs, beautiful shape, beautiful walk. You know, my daughter and my daughter-in-laws. I love you, daughter-in-laws, because I know him. I know you're watching, so I'm not going to say nothing negative. She's very beautiful too. My oldest son, he has a very beautiful wife, and all the rest of you, are very pretty too, very beautiful, very pretty. But you know, it's just like Marissa, just beautiful, you know, beautiful girl. And so then, but the thing is, this is that you look at them, and but today I don't see women being able to put a spell on a man, to put it, because in the sense is that they don't know how to carry, they don't know how to carry themselves. They don't know how it looks as though to really feel elegant.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm probably wrong, but
I don't know. I don't think you're wrong as much as you asked if it's the culture or society or the times, maybe. I think it's all related to the boogeyman or the elephant in the room. When
what's that? What's that?
that would be racism, white supremacy, I think, has caused a divide in our community with regards to how we're supposed to be expressing ourselves.
You really
They
think
were,
so?
I think so, because what I see is if you're cool with identifying as anything other than black, you get a benefit, a resource, a program, a special name, a special group to go to. But if you're just black and that's it, you're black man or a black woman, not anything extra, well, you don't get any extras. That's it. Even though I think that that's the biggest thing, being black. It's kind of where everybody gets their basis, with their what they like to do, what they like to eat, how they like to listen, all that stuff. So, but no, you can't just be black and expect to get stuff. There's no spell there. The
It
spell,
is a spell. It's a
or
spell
it
of
is.
blackness. Yes, yes. Because see, we haven't even really been taught the real meaning of black.
Hmm,
See, the definition we read of black today is not the definition that black has always had.
okay.
Because see, Ethiop, when they translated the word Ethiop as the burnt faces, you know, but the other definition for Ethiop is the shining, the brilliant.
Hmm,
See, when you really look up the definition of the word black, not black, black, it means brilliant. It means in a sense shining. And so then you because see you had to remember in a sense is that is that we've been taught a new definition of the word black because see whenever you in a sense are trying to look at the world and interpret the world, you're put under a spell. But also in a sense is that the way you spell a word can also in a sense give it meaning, you see. Give it meaning. So black, Black. See, when you look up the word black, that means shining. That means brilliant. See, but then look at it. Even when they talk about black, is that when you look at the comedians, the Comet True of Comet, they call themselves, you know, Comet True, the black ones. You see,
hmm
and then black is typified by what? The charcoal and the burning charcoal.
hmm
What is the significance of fire at night?
to illuminate.
Illumination. There's another word. There's a so in a way, when you're black, you provide illumination.
Hmm,
See, what
interesting.
else? What else? When you have a fire and it's dark, what else does it do? It illuminates and it provides you with what?
Heat.
Heat,
Yeah, light,
warmth.
warm.
It's like a woman to me anyway. Ooh. But anyway, stop.
I like that though. That's a
Stop, Jesse.
it's kind of sexy, right? In the dark, you get put under a spell, and you can be guided to somewhere, do something, and then really feel it, the warmth that the fire might provide, and the
Right.
um I like that. And I like that we're talking about how things are spelled, because yeah, that is the spell right there. When racism, white supremacy said that we were illiterate, we didn't have language, we were bush people, we didn't know. But then I learned that they didn't know, and they learned from us and then took it and then tried to erase us. But it's too much to erase. It's like, whoa, there's another spell. It's the unlearning and relearning of most of what we've learned. And that's rough, because it's really saying that you don't know shit. And I
Yeah,
don't
it
know a
is.
lot of people who like to say something like that, and really stand on it. But that would be very honest, an honest sentiment, and at least we could get started with the growth or the change that comes.
How you doing, Bawana Haguziki? But Dorvell, he's always every time he sends me a message, he refuses to say B1 anymore. He always put the brilliant one. Dorvell says the ancients considered all of the terms dealing with black are associated with shiny metals, black. And see, when you think about this, you understand why, out of all the terms that black people have went through, over here in America, Negro, African American, Afro-American, we return to this word of black. And see, that has significance because on my Thursday show, I always talk about the fact is that most of the time black people in a sense cannot relate or access the Akashic records because of the fact that many of them are divorced from their blackness. They don't recognize who they are. And because by the simple use of the word black, because see, again, remember, and see, this is the thing, is that the Egyptians were not all coal black. They were not blue black. They were not, in a sense, that some were light skinned, red bone, etc. But they called themselves the black. And then when you look at the true meaning of black, you see that the European has changed the meaning of it, and they've taken away the fact that when you're black, you're brilliant.
Yeah, they've said that black is dead. I keep having to, well, not keep. I used to have that conversation that we're not a crayon, so we're not black. But no, I think it's bigger than being a crayon color.
Yeah.
Because you've got black land, black fertile soil, black people. Like you just said, man. You said the other day that we Black Americans are the Cometians 2.0 or in the future.
Yeah, we're the Egyptians.
And that makes a lot of sense if they were an intuitive, forward-thinking people who were an amalgamation, from different pieces. So you've got North and South Egypt, right? Or is it Narmer or Nimrod? Bring them all together.
They were a Pan-African civilization, in the sense the Bantu were there, the Swahili were there, the Wolof. It was all these different black people were there, but they were able to get along, and they were able to bring the secret knowledge out because they were a Pan-African civilization. See, when I say B1 is the original OG Pan-African.
Right.
Why is B1 the original OG Pan-African? Because I'm saying all blacks are first. And by recognizing other black people, then therefore, in a sense, we're one. But you got to get it out right now. You're holding something back. Put out that thought.
It's just that race first. I don't know if we should be race first as much as it should be about how people do. And then that's been an argument or a debate of sorts here in the home because, what we say versus what we do. Where's the spell? Is it in what's being said or what people are watching happen? And I think it's related, but I do think that both parts of the conversation are important, but differently. If you're a person, in basketball, right? You're playing basketball and you can pass the ball to someone on your team and they, you didn't have to look at them. They didn't have to look at you, but they knew the ball was coming. You knew that you were going to pass it to them. There's no talking. It's just the action. But that's like magic, right?
Yes.
First time to say, me, pass the ball to me. I'm open. That's not magic. That's like a target, right?
But you're putting a spell on that person because remember, a spell is a characteristic. And so then because the spells are characteristics, when you've been always taught how to pass the ball. But then look at how some people make the ball fantastic. But then in a sense, see, this is the whole point. This is what Dorvell made me really have to recognize. I wanted to argue with him. I wanted to argue with the brother. I want to in a sense say, Dorville, you. But then he sent me so many articles, and I'm a falsificationist. Because I'm a falsificationist, I had to. He gave me abundant evidence that he was right. You see, but then he opened up a can of worms, because then I understood why the Egyptians called themselves black. I understood why the Sumerians called themselves black, Sagiga, the blackheads. I understood why the Assyrians called themselves, Sagiga. I understood why the people in ancient China call themselves black, the black men. Because the fact in the sense is that black, not only in a sense, black is not just in a sense for a race, but black means brilliant. Black means ingenious. Black means shining, because see, when you look at now, Dorvell has made it possible for me to look at why the Kemetru, the people of Kemet call themselves Kemetru, the black people, and they use the charcoal. They used a piece of charcoal, you see. And when you use that, when you look at what the charcoal does at night, what that charcoal can do at night, the light it shines, the brilliance of it, the shining of it. It makes you understand the sense is that we're not, when you're saying that you're black people, you're saying that you're a shining people. You're saying that you're an ingenious people. You're saying so much, and that's why I said is when these black people are trying to say, I'm African American, I'm Afro American, and they're trying to get information from the ancestors. The ancestors aren't going to talk to them. Ooh, I don't know that. But when you say black, that means, you're talking about our brilliance, our ingenuity, our shining, And see that, that is the thing that makes it so very hard. It's just like, it goes like what my wife used to make me feel. My wife made me feel in the sense that she was the brightness of my day. You see, I remember my Aunt Mabel. I love my grandma, but my Aunt Mabel, when I would, she lived with my grandma. When I would come over to her house, how you doing, Zion Law School? When I came over to her house, and I would, and my Aunt Mabel would be there. It looked like she just gave a shine and a brightness to the house. She just made the house feel so warm. And then when Aunt Mabel died, the house seemed empty. It seemed like something was missing. And that thing that was missing was the brightness of my Aunt Mabel. Zion Law School he says, shining, brilliant black, represents the sun, or the central fire from which all the solar deities, religions originate. And everything that follows after that, you're right, Zion Law School. You see, that's the thing that Dorville had to teach me. He had to teach me in a sense that you have to take black to another level. You can in a sense say the European has taught us in a sense a non-meaning for black. That's the meaning of black that he gave us, during the slave trade. You see, that wasn't the original meaning of the word. And see, a lot of times, no matter what, the word remains the same. An asshole is an asshole, right? No way you can change it. And if you meet one, you better hug him up. But we're not going there. But it goes back to, like I tell you, when I used to begin my linguistics class. And when I began my linguistics class, I would always put on the board, as I said, love. And then, because mostly all my students were women, I might be a man here and there, but most of the time I only had mainly women students. I don't know, women were the only ones that wanted to get their master's degrees and hopefully PhDs. And so, and then they would give me so many different definitions of love, and yet it doesn't matter, because see, love is going to be only what it is. You can't change the meaning of a word. You can't change the meaning of a word. It's just like how today, the trans community, they want to call a woman a cis.
Thank you. Let's talk about that, because on Monday, I had a live on my other channel with Marie, and I said something that was very confusing, and it's good that we're talking about it today. I believe that everybody should be honest about themselves. But that enters the conversation about my truth, your truth, his truth, their truth, whatever. And no, I don't believe in all these different truths. No, I think that there is one truth, and then everybody has their own perception, because we all have our own eyes, our own lenses, our own experiences on how we're gonna view the truth. But there is only one truth, and then from there, you got to be honest about the truth. So here's the thing. If you're a man, if you were born with man chromosomes, but you're saying that you're not a man anymore, or that you were never a man, but the science says that you were a man, you can't say I'm a woman. No, you have to say I'm a man who wants to be a woman, or I'm a man who's done something to have female body. It still starts with man, but it's doesn't want to be a man anymore.
Yeah.
But not I'm a woman. You can't just make yourself a woman. No, that math doesn't math.
But look at the word. Look at the word. Womb man. Womb man. Womb. Womb man. That it begins that you have a womb. And then in the sense is that I remember a couple of years ago when the trans was starting to say, forget about the penis. Well, I'm still a woman. No, you're not. You can't.
No, you can't, because it's not. That's very rapey. That's where it ends up going for me. All of these accept my truth as truth without having to do any questions, vetting, anything like that. And it's because they want to take our control away. And when I say they, right now we're talking about that community. And yes, Buana, that was me. We talked on Monday about, was it Monday or was it Friday, about reparations? Yes, that's us. And the other day, or no, Doravel, cis, like CIS. But in real time, I thought they were saying cis, like SIS. Like I didn't know what they were talking about. People were just calling me a cis woman or a cis female. And I'm like sister? Or no, they're saying CIS, because I guess that's a word now, or used to. I don't know. This is where we are now. We can make.
What is it supposed to mean?
Cis is supposed to mean. Let's do it. It's supposed to mean denoting or relating to a person whose gender corresponds with the sex registered to them at birth. It's a lot of shit. No, you're supposed to be cis if you identify as how you were born. But that's crazy to me, because what'll happen is people who are.
What about this? Dorvell says, are they calling women a cis as an abnormal sac of fluid?
Right. It seems, and it's not just women though, because it's cis men and cis women that I'm sorry. Cis, I made a connection with sissy. I didn't know any men who wanted to be called sissy men, but then it's not.
You're a sissy man.
It's not. But Buona, cis is heterosexual. But to me, the people who are identifying as how we were born, we shouldn't get the extras. If you want to be extra, you get the extras. You are a woman who doesn't want to be a woman anymore, extra name for you. You're a man who doesn't want to be a man anymore, extra name for you. But then they're like, well, I'm a man and I don't even like women. Okay, extra name for you too, because that's extra, But they want to give us the extra, I guess, kind of like how they wanted to do for Black. We weren't talking about color as much as we were talking about what we were doing, how we were illuminating things or bringing information to. And that's not color, as much as we all looked the same at some point in antiquity.
No, we never looked the same in antiquity. What it is that they always remember, as I told you before, they labeled people nationality back in the day. You were European, you were American, and if you were American, then that meant you were one of the Aboriginal tribes. If you were in a sense Caucasian, you were European. If you were an African, you were a Negro. Very important to understand. See, Negro, they translated Negro as Black. But the meaning of black is shining. The meaning of black is luminous. The meaning of black, in a sense, is creativity. So then, therefore, in a sense, they wrongly translated the word because see, they didn't identify us as by our African countries that the sub-Saharan Africans came from. They just called them Negro, and then they translated Negro as black. But the definition of black in European languages, the definition of black in European languages is shining and brilliant. Why would black in European languages be shining and brilliant? Be interpreted shining and brilliant.
Well,
what were the majority of elites? What was the majority of elites?
They were all black, right?
That's right. To say we're black, they wasn't going to have. They was going to make sure that since some of them were very cold, were very dark. They were going to, in a sense, make sure that black represented the elites because they were the brilliant people. But see, when they translate the word Negro, it's one of the reasons why, I never wanted to live to get this old, and my kids, they get mad at me because I want to be with my baby doll, but they say I got to be here and be tortured. But the point is this: is that's one of the reasons why I've written all these books and I keep writing books and I get on here every Thursday because of the lies we've been taught. You see, we've been taught. See, the black man doesn't understand that when he looks at you, Eve, or when he looks at any black woman, he should see something that's shining, something that's brilliant. You see, but they've tried to make us feel that when you look at a black woman, you're looking at a Jezebel. You're looking at a stank, you see,
or dull. They dull. They tell us that we're ignorant and niggas ain't shit, and we're slow, we're illiterate, we're all of these words that are the opposite of brilliant, shining, and illuminating.
Yeah, because they go to Negro, and when they want to translate it, they say, "Oh, they're just black." But they didn't want to call you black. You're black. But in reality, it's black. That difference, that intonation, that little difference gives a lot of meaning. It gives a lot of, it influences you because see, remember, words create spells. And spells are words. And it's through the spells that we achieve the most important things in our life. Like when you guys, I didn't hear you guys talking about reparations, but when you talk about reparations, the first thing people say, you don't deserve reparations. We don't owe you anything because we weren't slave masters. But the argument is that it doesn't matter that you were the slave. It doesn't matter you didn't own slaves. It was the federal and state governments that protected slavery through the laws they made. Therefore, it's the states that do it. Just like even today, when you think about the fact that if you buy some stock, you want to buy some bonds. Bonds go back to those groups of black men and women who were held in bondage, and they just shorten it. But again, in a sense, when you don't look at the way words are used to spellbind us, you see, and that it's these words that create this negativity because. Ever since the transhumanists, they want to destroy the idea of a woman. You see, they even asked that silly ass Caribbean woman who they made a Supreme Court judge with her stupid ass, but she's a tether. She couldn't even say what a woman was. Anybody knows that woman, they got a damn womb, stupid. A man don't have a womb. I can't have a baby. And then they confuse these kids because then they give these women some hormones and they grow a mustache and then they come out and they show their belly. See, a man can't have a baby. Hell no. But but it's this confusion. It's this confusion. They're taking these words. They're taking these words to put a spell on us. They're taking these words in a sense to destroy our character. See. And a lot of it is through this transhumanism stuff, you see. Because, see, you had to get rid of the woman because the uniqueness of the woman is what? Is her ability to create life. But they want to take away that ability. They don't want you to create life. They want you to just perform oral sex on each other. You see,
Right.
and the men perform oral sex, and the women perform oral sex, and then y'all freak out, and everybody, and they'll make the babies for you in a test tube. They'll tell you. I mean, look at the future. The movies. Europeans always like to put in movies the future, yes. and in their future, they want to make the babies. They want to make that money. See, they don't want you making babies. They don't want the babies made the old-fashioned way. They don't want you to have the joy of laying in the bed with your wife, and then then the baby will start kicking, and she'll put her belly next to your back, and you say, "Get that away from me." Don't you like that, honey? Oh, it's so wonderful. Hell no, I don't like it. Oh, it's so wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, baby, that's so. Oh, come on! Don't you want to feel it? Don't you want to feel it?
No, they want you to pick it up at the store at the pickup time. That's crazy. Do you think that sometimes they can't help but speak the future or speak what's going to happen, and not that they really know what's going to happen, but I feel like the way that some of these movies have predicted what's going on, and not saying, oh, in 2024, we're going to have this, as much as in the future, this type of such and such will be available or around. Do you think that it's the movie came first or the thought? They want the thought and then they make it acceptable in the movie, or the movie comes first and then they try to make it acceptable because of the movie?
They're evil. And because they're evil, devils always have to tell you what they're going to do. Bwana Hagulski says, I don't know why Doc calling people tethers, though, shaking my damn head, laughing out loud. Well, this is that the European has always created tethers. The original tethers were the red man, the red man. You didn't know that, did you? I bet you guys didn't know that the European is a minority. He's a minority in the world, and he's a minority over here. So you're dumbasses. You're dumbasses. All of you out there are dumbasses. Go ahead and say, Dr. Winters, I can say this because I'm old. People don't pay attention to old people. But I'm not going to just leave it like that. Remember, they had apartheid in South Africa, right? They developed the apartheid system so a minority of white people could control a majority of black people, right?
But some 2% over 98% of the population.
That's right. So if Afro-Americans or foundational Black Americans or American Negroes are a minority, why would they come over here to learn how to control a majority Black population? Think.
Right.
You're not a damn minority, stupids. You're not a damn minority. They got to tell you every day you're a minority. We're the damn majority. That's why more of us are out of work than they are. That's why they always got to bring people over here. First, the American Indian. They use him as a tether, as a buffer. See? Then the various European groups. Then in the 1800s, most of the Europeans would stop being Black. The Black people killed themselves off during the 30-year war, where they went and got some Ukrainian women. See, Ukrainian women were the main prostitutes. The Ukrainian women were the main prostitutes from 1600 to about 1900. This was mainly because of the fact that the Turks in a sense, they would go and raid for slaves in Ukraine. And then they would sell the Ukrainian women as slaves. That's why it's a sister, she does a very good video talking about how the symbol of the white race was a Ukrainian prostitute, when they did the studies of the craniums of the various races. Okay, and so then in a sense, the first tethers in a sense were the red man. Then as the white Irish, because see, the Black Irish, they were made chattel slaves. But after the potato famine, those white people who stole our land over in Ireland Then they made them, in a sense, they made them a tether group. Hey, you know, work with us, keep them niggas down. Then they got the Italians. Hey, you work with us, keep them niggas down. And so then, in a sense, and now today they try to bring, you know, people from Africa and the Caribbean and use them as tethers. So calling somebody a tether has nothing to do with what Tariq Nasheed is talking about. They've always had tethers. They've always tried to put a group in between to have you think that you had to compete with them to move forward. Go ahead. You got a good thought. I can see it. It's running out of your brain.
It is, because that's my issue with well, people have an issue with the word tether, but my thing is if you look up the word tether, it means to attach or tie with a rope or chain as to restrict movement or to connect to the internet, you know, to connect to the device.
Wait a minute. Stop. Rewind. Read it again, please. Everybody listen.
So we've got the primary, to tie with a rope or chain so as to restrict the movement or to connect a device to the internet, you know, with a tether or a cord. And I don't know why people have an issue with that definition, because when we're talking about tether, we are talking about people who are connected, tied, attached to people who are already here. And our movements have been restricted because of it. And or the secondary definition of connecting to the internet, if everybody uses Black American culture as the trendsetters of the globe, then it would be the same as that too, because then people would say, well, this is why, you know, everybody has a stereotype for what Black America is.
Okay. But see, you know, there's like Bwana, Ogozuriki, Bwana, Nzuri, Abarigani. But anyway, I'll get away from our Swahili. Tether is used as a pejorative toward Caribbean and African people, as the N-word was used by white supremacists towards African. That's not true, Bwana. That's not true. Even you know, Tariq, in a sense, he explains on his show all the time. The tether is just those people who try to get between. What is Sister Shanice? I'm sorry. What did Just Eve just tell? She read you the definition. It's people who is a tether is something that is to restrict, and so they use people like they had that Puerto Rican guy talking about. It's a Puerto Rican guy, and he's talking about foundational Black Americans getting reparations. You know, he's a tether because he's there to hold us back. That's what tether means. Tether has nothing to do with you being from the Caribbean or you being from Africa. It's just in a sense that there's somebody there to hold you back. And what you want to do is that you want to move away from that. But see, they use these words to create spells. Remember, there's magic spells. And these magic spells come from the words. You know, it's just like when I was a teenager. I wanted to become a wordsmith. Because I wanted to have girls. I wanted to have my little black book. So what? It didn't matter if I ever talked to him again. But I would get on the Yale in Chicago. In Chicago, you have the subway. And I would ride the subway. And I would see girls on there. And I would try to talk to them to get their numbers so I could have a lot of numbers in my little black book. Hey, Clyde the Rider, baby. The Rider, baby. The little black book. Now, that was wrong of me. That was very wrong of me. Because I'm quite sure many of those girls thought I was going to call them in a day or two or call them in a week or two. I just wanted numbers. That's all. I wanted the numbers so I could look cool. See? But I didn't think about the fact that wasn't fair. You know, over on Sunday, my daughter, my niece called me. And so we talked for 6 hours. And so she was talking about, you know, growing up during the crack period. You know, she's talking about when my grandmother lived, where my mother and them lived, her grandmother. And so she's talking about how a lot of how some of the uncles some of the uncles, in a sense, became, some of my brothers, became addicted to crack. And then she was talking about how she felt unsafe because there were so many people that she called perverts who was trying to, attack her or molest her or rape her. And she said that she felt that when her uncles who were near her age, not me, but her uncles near her age, as they became involved in drugs and as they, in a sense, lost their sense of reality, she just talked about how that crack, and see that crack created a period of amnesia. It created a period of amnesia in the Black community because it dulled Black people. Black people gave up their common sense to be able, in a sense, to get those drugs, And it was a very effective thing to do because, see, what did they do? Luckily, a lot of us was strong, and a lot of us didn't let the drugs take over the entire community. But they tried to do to us what the British did to the Chinese. I mean, yeah, remember? That was what the Opium War was all about. They used, in a sense, opium so they could try to take over China. And the Chinese people, in a sense, they had to the Chinese rulers, they had to kind of stop it so they could win. And see, drugs was an effective and a materialistic thing. And see, it's just like today. We have no Black media today. In the 90s, we lost Ebony, we lost Jet, we lost Black Enterprise. We have no Black media.
Enterprise, right. Yep.
We have no black, no Black media. But God, the Creator, He's so wise and so great, and then now we have social media, and it's even better now in social media because now if somebody gets shot, it's all you find out about it. Hey, somebody got shot in Memphis. Really, what happened? There it is. Somebody got shot. There it is at the video. So in a way, God is great. God is always, in a sense, trying to encourage us. See, you have to understand this, is that they have to make you feel you're a minority, because by you feeling you're a minority makes you feel weak. A minority makes you feel incompetent. A minor, what is a minor? A minor is somebody that doesn't know how to behave. A minor is someone who's waiting to be guided, by the master, see. And so then that is what it's all about. And so they're afraid that you'll ever wake up one day and you'll say, damn, see, the gross national product, the gross national product of foundational Black Americans is more than any African nation on the African continent. I'm sad to say.
Yeah.
What the hell, nigga? What? You see, because as I said before, how you doing, Jose? As I said before, is that we are the new Egyptians. We went through ethnogenesis. Ethnic, in a sense, means population groups. Genesis means, in a sense, a new beginning, a new awakening. And so then, because of the fact that we're a tripartite, we have a tripartite origin. Black Aboriginal, Black Irish, Sub-Saharan African. That means that we've been able, in a sense, that all these cultures came together. See, what made Egypt great? Egypt was a Pan-African civilization. Egypt was separated into 46 nomes or sapats. A sapat was a city-state or a country in a way. And so in those sapats in ancient Egypt, each one of those people spoke different languages. Wolof here, a Khan here, a Bantu language there. That's one of the reasons why you find, in a sense, that that Meta Nature is related to West African languages and East African languages, but East African language mainly Bantu. And it's because of the fact that we all live there. And we brought all that knowledge today. See, that's why foundational Black Americans, that's why we dominate the world. That's why they adhere to our culture. That's why they use our inventions. The light bulb, you got that from us.
That's magic too,
Yeah, magic. It is all magical.
It's all magic.
It's all a spell. It's put a spell on you. the computer, the cell phone. We made all that is shh. But my favorite invention, and anybody who's followed me, you know what my favorite invention is. My favorite invention is toilet tissue. Because when I grew up and we ran out of toilet tissue, we had to take the newspaper and crinkle that shit together so we could wipe our
A little soft.
So I'm so glad I don't have to take newspaper, and do that anymore. I don't have to go into the cotton field. Find me a leaf. Oh, brother, give me that leaf to wipe my arms. Give me that leaf. Give me that leaf. I want toilet tissue, baby.
This is a foreplay.
Just a little bit. But again, in the sense is that these spells, these words are all meant in a sense to keep us controlled. You see, they call you black. They don't call you black. They call you black. They don't call you black. Because that's saying that you're ingenious. That's saying that you're shining. That's saying that you're brilliant. But they tell you these things. See, what makes the European second frequency so interesting is that they hide in front of your face your uniqueness, your creativity, your power, and why they're afraid of you. By the simple fact that they called you black, and that black has to deal with burning, that should tell you everything. If black has to deal with burning and fire, and we know that fire lights up the night sky. We know that fire, in a sense, is shining. We know that fire is brilliant. You see, but they want you to think of it as being, you're just black. Yeah, you're black. And then they leave it like that. See?
That's a spell. The whole unlearning and relearning thing is breaking the spell. People will say they're breaking generational curses and all that stuff. Those are all spells too, because if what we learned at best is a misunderstanding of what actually happened, then we would still have to acknowledge and accept the fact that it was some shit. It wasn't the truth. It was a misunderstanding. And then from there, you got to go back and do the work. But, people will say, I made it to my big age at 52, Dr. Winters, and why do I need to go back and relearn anything? Because I'm 52. I didn't die at 18, 21, 35, 42. I'm good. Yeah. What do I need to learn for?
Bwana Haguziki, he says, Doc, if you really want to have a conversation, you can drop the link for a dialogue, a respectful one. Nigga, what? That's how we talk. Yes, sirs.
Bwana, you're here right now. I think this is a respectful conversation.
It is a respectful conversation. I'm not even cussing as much as I usually cuss.
I think that, people think that all people who aren't Black Americans are tethers because of how a lot of people have been drawing a line in the sand. And I think that might make some people feel uncomfortable. But Bwana, you said something in the chat earlier that the only thing you're trying to tether to is the U.S. economy. And that is what we're talking about. Because if the U.S. economy says, all right, Blacks, we owe you guys reparations and we're going to pay it, and then every single melanated person in the country gets a reparations check, that's not reparations. You can't call it reparations. It's something else. Yeah. So, the reason for the delineating and the defining things and words have meaning, tether being negative only if you are trying to put your needs before the group that's owed first. It's like the all lives matter conversation. If my house is on fire, we can't say that all the houses on the street matter, because my house is the one that's on fire. You take care of this one, and then we'll make sure that the rest of the houses don't have any impact or anything to worry about. But I think people have succumbed to the spell, and I don't mean like they've taken the magic from it and are working with it. No, I think that they are intoxicated and sleep. like Sleeping Beauty type spo. They're under the influence of racism, white supremacy, or confusion, or whatever you want to call it. And then they can't move in a way that makes sense. They start glitching, or they start trying to combat the common sense stuff. Everything that you've said tonight, I think, is things that we know. We know that charcoal is black, that creates fire, is also diamonds in different environments, So we know that already.
We didn't know that.
But right.
We were taught that black was a crayon. We were taught that black was everything negative. We were taught that black was deaf. No. The word for deaf is pale.
Right.
It's kind of tinges on. It's kind of in a sense a kind of almost blackishness. But again, in a sense, it's very important to understand. Is that Dr. Winters, you are a real doctor? Yes, I have a PhD. I'm not a medical doctor. I have a PhD. I didn't go to Harvard, but I can talk that talk. When I was teaching high school, when I was teaching grammar school, I always wore a tie every day. And when I taught college, I wore a tie. But now I'm talking to the people, baby. Because I'm talking to the family. I'll wear a tie one day, but not now. Let's check out, take a little break for a while.
So dreamy.
Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture.
So dreamy.
Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro-Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discussed this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did. You're going to see, in a sense, that Black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found Black Aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the Black Aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now.
What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB, or find me on X at Justice4Just_Us. That's JUSTICE, 4 JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
Mathing, make the math right. Buy some of that merchandise from, Just Eve. Buy some of that merchandise. Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool. In my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book, History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877, to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every Black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about their greatness, to prevent them from losing confidence in their own ability to learn and be successful future adults in employment and education.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
So I should try to do everything you can. If you do have a grandchild, if you have children, get them in that FBA Sunday School. Get them in that school so they can learn about themselves and learn and know who they are. No matter what you may think, no matter what you may know, it's all about our children. We have to do everything we can to make sure that our foundational Black American children know their history, know who they are, and want, in a sense, to be able to not suffer from CAIDS. What is CAIDS? CAIDS is culturally acquired immune identity deficiency syndrome. It's just like AIDS. It's a pandemic. And this is when Black people lose their immunity to whiteness, and they try to take on a white identity, and this leads to their destruction. And most of these ads were made by Yoshimod, and I want you guys to support Yoshimod, because Yoshimod can make your program, your site, your artwork. He can make it fantastic. Support this brother. Support Yoshimod. A lot of us, becoming summer, a lot of you guys are going to have family reunions. Yoshimod can make a beautiful video that talks about, your family and your roots. And so you should check out Yoshimod and try to get him to do this family video for you. It could be a great biography that you could show at your family reunions.
Since the goal to your heart. Since the goal to touch her heart with them dinner rolls. Shake the spirit one time, it gets old close. She gon' take me out of space into another zone. Some spirit, she ain't messing with them petty hoes. Microwaves and cobalt us out of phone. Fucking in that vibe and smoking good on that drone. Call me eat the night with the cuz all up in a fro. This queen approach, she gon' drop it low to the flow. You know she liquid gold with the alchemy in the bowl. Trippy super soul is the greatest tale never told. She gon' get you right, you can set up on your goals. You gon' spend the night in the harmony out with your toes. You know she's super fine in the aura down to her bones. Super magic fairy, I'm lost in the rituals. She give me life like butterflies on the rose. Really rich and old, ain't nothing like cracker trolls. Hidden in the clothes, an extraterrestrial. And she never fold, trap crackers up in the throat. She drink your wine, she rock you up like a pole. And she spark my mind with intellectual pose. Shake butter oils and linger up in your nose. Independent goddess, like rhythm up in the soul.
Yellow honey, drip slow, sweet agave at the toe. Independent finance, wine, citrus mist. My Wonder Woman, I wonder how to.
What? Tones 5, get some of that jewelry. Get some of that jewelry. It's based on, some of it is based on stuff they found in the mounds with the black statues. Get some of this stuff. It is directly related to our heritage.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
Eve, can you tell them about FBA Sunday School?
I would love to, because Doravel, I see you dodging me in the chat, and that's okay, because Dr. Winter said you dodging him too, but no, we are going to get you somewhere so that you can spread this knowledge to the minis. Doravel, respectfully, please hit me up. I would love for you to come through on a Sunday school day and talk about the meaning of words. We have a very intelligent group of minis, and I say that, okay, you're not dodging. Fine. Thank you for responding. No, the minis are very intelligent. They love having conversation where they get to ask questions about what they see is going on. On Sundays, we meet with 10 to 20 minis for about 2 hours, and we talk to them about who they are. Sunday school for me was always going to church, and oh, I'm not even on camera. Sunday school for me was always going to church, right? And finding out about the message or meaning behind the sermon. And I think that that's a foundational Black American invention, Sunday school. I don't know if it is or not. It just, I know that my white friends didn't go to Sunday school. There was no Sunday school at white church. And during the week,
They have Sunday school.
I mean, it's not the same.
They have Sunday school. I don't know if it's the same, but they have it.
It's not the same. Yeah, they had Sunday school where, you know, the kids got to get out of church to go be with children. But no, I felt like, and not just me, Isla too, we felt like every other cultural group who's here in this country has a school where they get to go talk about themselves and be really excited about who they are and what they've done. And I think that we need to have an outlet like that too. So we said, let's do it. So that's what we do on Sundays for 2 hours. We talk to them about who they are. We talk about our reparative justice. Jose, we talk to them about all Black people and all white people and how there's not one of either. That's a very dangerous way to teach somebody that all Black people are good or all white people are bad or all white people are good or all Black people are bad. That's dangerous, because in real time, you could have someone who looks like you, whoever you are, and that be the person who harm you. Actually, the stats say that most harm is going to come from someone who looks just like you, because that's who they're around. So, you know, I like that we've had this conversation a few different times with them where they know that it's not an all or nothing. It's about what they do, how they're talking. Kind of like this conversation tonight, you know, spelling matters, the words matter, what we say matters. Calling ourselves African American when most of our stories haven't touched the continent, right, in 1,000 years or 500 years. It's not wrong, it's just missing. And that's what I think people, they're not articulating that. They're not saying I'm missing a part of my story. They're just saying, I ain't never been to Africa. Why are you calling me African American? My family ain't never been to Africa. I've never been off this place. So I get it, but it's lacking because you have. The only way you got over here is you started there. Yeah, that's a very long story that nobody wants to dive into. And I get it. They lie so much. Why would you want to?
That's why I wrote this book, The History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals. This book is 500 pages. 500 pages. The hardback edition has in a sense an index. This is the only book where you're going to find out about the pyramids. Yes, it used to be pyramids here. They tore them down to build a railroad. So it used to be, in a sense, stone roads. They tore them down, though, to build the railroads. Where do you think they found that dirt and that stone to build railroads across the Midwest, all the way down in the South and all that? Yeah, they talk about the immigrant. No, the immigrants didn't build the railroads. We did. But it's very important, in a sense, to understand everybody, look at Eve. Look at Eve. That is our woman. That is our goddess. That is the queen. Yes, you can go ahead and laugh. And I know you don't have on your queenly garb, but I know you don't have this.
I'm on a t-shirt today. I'm not elegant at all. Right?
It doesn't. You may not, in a sense, feel it. But see, that's what's wrong with our women. Our women don't know their elegance. They don't know their beauty. They don't know their shining because they've been put down too much. We've been taught that when we buy, in a sense, a Toyota, we want to have that white woman with her hair blowing in the wind. Like I used to have hair blowing. But come on. We want to see it. We talk about sisters. Yeah, sister, you don't wear that damn wig. Why are you wearing that wig? Take that wig off. Yeah, then they'll go get a Puerto Rican or some other one so they can just see their hair. Get the hell out of here. I'm getting tired of brothers lying. Come on back home, baby. Come back home, my baby. You got a queen. Look there, right on the right side. That's the queen, baby. Just because she got on glasses, that even make her look even better. That means it shows the brilliance, it shows the intelligence, it shows the sensitivity, it shows, in a sense, the inquiring nature of the Black woman. Nigga, what? That's Chicago. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Look, the first time you said that, I looked at my man and I said, "Did he just say nigga what?" He said, yes. No, he does that. He does that from time to time. You'll get used to it.
Yeah. But the thing is this, is that's life, I'm not saying that because, see, I was going to begin tonight. And I was going to talk about the nigger kings, the nigger kings of Scotland. Did you know that there was a line of nigger kings in Scotland? That's what they call themselves, the nigger. They call them niggers, and they call themselves nigger. They were in Germany, all over the place. Dorvell, I love Dorvell and his research. I thought it was just the Scottish kings called themselves. They had a nigger line, but also in Bavaria and Germany, they had another nigger line. Henry II, the nigger. That's the name. I'm not lying. See, but see,
and you're actually saying niggas, not niggas, right?
No, not neggers.
Okay,
neggers. That was the Giaz. Negus is the Giaz name for king in Ethiopia. Okay. They said nigger, Niger.
Okay.
Niger. I'm gonna do a lecture. I'm gonna do one of my Thursday shows on the nigger kings and the nigger kings in Scotland. I know you're laughing, but you can't.
I like it though, because people think that people think that we've bastardized something. And yeah. That's my original argument for tonight, is that most of the stuff that we've learned from the bastards. Like we didn't bastardize anything, they did. And then if you take that away and try to go back to the original, you start finding out that all these words don't mean what you thought they meant.
They don't mean it. Like black. Black don't mean negativity. Black was shiny. Black was ingenuity. Black was creativity. You know, and then when you think about it, by the simple fact that they put the Egyptians made, in a sense, the charcoal, and to know what a fire does, and you know, in the Greeks they called us the burnt faces. You know, it always goes back to the sun. It always goes back, in a sense, to the brilliant. Like Ethiop doesn't just mean the burnt faces; it also means brilliant. But see, that's what I love about Doraville. He's an etymologist. He likes to deal with words. He would be a good philologist. I used to do philology back when I first started, before I went into comparative linguistics. And I know our family. For some of you out there, you just can't. It's hard for you to believe that a brother who attended the University of Illinois and has a PhD, an accredited PhD. I didn't get one by speaking at an HBCU. I earned it, and you just can't believe that a brother, in a sense, with that type of background, taught at university, taught in high school, elementary school. Nigga, what? See, the whole point, family, you had to understand. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. See, knowledge is power. When you think about the spells that words put on us, then you understand why you had to be told every day you're a minority.
Mm-hmm.
Why they had to show
that spell is amazing too, because 14% of the population, for however long we've been 14% of the population, but we're having all of these babies. You know, they say that we hump like rabbits for having so many babies, but then no, we're killing all the babies, Dr. Winters, because we're also the people who are doing the abortion. But still 14%. That is so incredible that we've been able to stay right there for so many hundreds of years, or like Dr. Anderson, 1/2 of 1% of the wealth for 200 years. That's incredible. You know, that's not random. It's not by chance. It's got to be on purpose.
But at the same time, it's on purpose. You know, it goes back to what my father told me back in 1971. I came home and said, Dad, we got to burn this mother up. You know, I didn't say mother because he would have slapped me in the mouth. But I said, Dad, we got to burn this stuff up. Dad, we got to go in and get ready. I raised my kids. I raised my sons to be ready to fight in the revolution. I taught them that they was going to always have to obey their oldest brother. Now he's 55 years old. He can still run. He's probably still tough. But come on now. I can't see him out in the street with an BAR. But the thing is, this is that change comes. Change comes progressively. You know. When I was growing up, everybody lived in an apartment, roaches all over the damn place, mice, rats. You know, I never get when I was a kid and a rat stole my little sister's dress and pulled it into the rat hole. But it was good because it stuffed the hole so the rat couldn't come in. Then you see Michael Jackson, he's making a movie. He made a movie about his friend, and his friend was a rat. Nigga, what? That was life. That was life. I didn't make no rats my friend. But the thing is, this is that I hated rats. I hated mice, the pieces, you know. But the point is, this is that, look at us today. You know, this brother, you know, this is a very good question. He said, let me get it. What does he say? He says, question, Dr. Winters. Were the cities and architecture our ancestors built here in America torn down and used to build the white world we endured? Yeah, they did. Thank you for the work. Yeah, they did it. They tore down the stone pyramids. And in fact, not only that, but I saw some pictures where they've even built some of their cities on top of our stone structures, the basement features. You wouldn't know that. St. Louis is a beautiful, they have a beautiful picture of how they tore this mountain. You know, St. Louis used to be full of mounds. And they showed this mountain, how they tore it down and progressively took the stone and the dirt. See, how do you think, listen, how do you think they was able to build the railroads across the country
Yes,
without
I've heard
it?
you say that before.
Yeah,
I've heard that before, and then but that's why in real time they're trying to tell us that the Chinese were the railroad people, so that you
yeah,
don't go looking for yourself there, because if you do, then that opens a can of worms into what was here before needing the railroads to connect the country. That's
yeah.
it's fantastic, actually.
But the railroads were built before the immigrants got here. They were already built. They'd already built, and we know, and Professor Black, he did a very fine presentation on how we built the railroads. Very
Yes.
beautiful presentation last year, I think it was. But the thing is, this is that it's there. Like I never wanted to live this long, but my kids always say, "Well, pops, God must have wanted you to live so you could get the truth." That's why I wrote. Do you think I really wanted to write 40 books? I really wrote 50. But do you think I really wanted to write 40 books? I wrote all those books. I wrote all those books because I have to put information in the books, hoping that one of you out there, family, will use those books to go to the next level. See, like Anton Giap, he said, don't just look at my research. Take my research and expand on it. I'm a falsificationist. I wrote those books so that you know about this empire, that empire, what we did here, what we did there, so we can move forward, to get away some of these lies. We were taught so many lies. We were taught that the white man, in a sense, he made all of us, he made all of our aunties and grandmas super light. Yeah, they light because some white man raped one of our that's a damn lie. It was already a mixture of various black people, especially when the black Irish came over here. But they don't tell you that shit. Then they tell you, oh, you got your name. They tell you that you got your name from your master. And yet they always teach us that Thomas Jefferson, I think it was raping Sally Hemings. Why the hell did she have named Sally Hemings instead of in a sense instead of being called Sally Jefferson or
Right.
whatever? I
Right.
might have it wrong,
No, you
Yeah,
are 1 billion% on. I mean, outside of, I think she was his wife's slave, maybe, but still, same shit. No, she's
yeah,
not Martha Jefferson's last name, whatever,
yeah.
slave either. No, you are right. And
And then
they, like you said earlier, they put it in our face because they're expecting you to just eat it, not to question what's in it. You know, but I get that. I mean, I get why people would expect you to just eat something when people eat hot dogs. People eat shit all the time and they don't know what's in it. And they're just like, oh yeah, it tastes good, I'm gonna eat it. Or oh yeah, I was told it was gonna do something good for me, so whatever. But in real time, some of that shit is not good for you. Now
it's
it can
not.
be full, you can eat it. It's not going to kill you right away. It's the overtime consumption that does havoc and wreaks havoc on your body and the systems that are, you know,
And
supposed to
then
help get there.
then a lot of us ran the vegan stuff. Then it came out a couple of weeks ago. They got to recall stuff because it got salmonella on it. Now this is deep. This is deep now. See, I try to tell y'all we're not the minority. Dorvell says a mathematician ran the number of brilliant population during Obama election years based on almost 100% participation. Our numbers are 80 to 100 million. Start strong United States. Yeah, I've said that before. I did with Reverend Matthews. I did a census to show how the census and stuff was all a lie. But see, the whole point is I told you. Why would the South Africans come to America to learn how to keep down a majority black population unless we were the majority population over here and they was keeping us under control? We were the majority. Think about this. We were the majority population during slavery.
Yeah.
I don't care how many white folks that they brought over here.
But we know that too because of the voting laws and
Yeah,
how 3/5 of a person,
yeah.
made the electoral college. This shit we know already, y'all, but you don't put it into context. You're not asking questions to make the information make sense. I think in your census breakdown, you said something about every 10 years, their numbers were going up
Yeah,
astronomically.
it was it was a period of time. It was through they did 3 censuses. I forgot what years they were. They did 3 censuses and they kept us at 10 million over a 30-year period.
I want to say it was 1900, 1910, and 1920, or 1890,
It
1900.
was something like that. But I did that. I'm sorry, family. I do so much. I can't even find my stuff that I've done. You know, that's why people always say, Dr. Winters, why do you always have slides? I always have slides so I keep the stuff in order, or I'll be all over the damn place. You see, I'll be saying, I'll be trying to say hello, and then I say bonjour, buenos dias, how about it? I mean, I might start talking Spanish, French, German, whatever the hell. I got all that. It's up in here. It's up in here. It's, you know, it's discombobulated. But again, in a sense, is that that's why we needed, you know, Dorvell, he would not. He always got to put in the chat, brilliant. He's right. Family, you got to remember, and I'm gonna compliment Dorvell again. You see, block means brilliant, shining. See, you're a brilliant people. You're a shining people. You see, and they know that. That's why they do everything to try to keep you down. Just look at the technology over here. Part of our culture is inventions. We made the light bulb work, the telephone work. We invented, in a sense, the first computer. We're the ones that made the program that we can use this computer to communicate with. It wasn't in a sense, Google and the rest of them. We made this shit happen. We made the damn first cell phones. We made all this stuff. And at the same time, you know, because they used to have a nigga in the closet. Let me explain to you what a nigga in the closet was. Back in the day, they would be at these manufacturing companies, especially Western Electric. And they would have this little room in this office, and they would put the most brilliant nigga in that little room. And then whenever they had a problem, they would go find a nigga in the closet, and they say, nigga in the closet, what should we do? And then the nigga in the closet would say, you do this, you do this. But he would say, you do this, massa. Boss, y'all get down there and get this done, Captain, and it'll be okay. See, but what happened is in the 1980s, those people, I'm not going to name who those people were, but they say they run the country and they run the media or whatever. But those people, they convinced the people in the 1980s that they didn't need any more niggas in the closet. The universities was going to turn out the knowledge to make America great again. And if you notice, America ain't been ish ever since they got rid of the niggas in the closet.
Hey.
Nothing comes from the university. See, you know, they try to teach you that that all knowledge comes from the physicist. The physicist is the standard bearer. The physicist is the standard bearer of American science. See, but see, the real inventions, the real science in America is the brother in some overalls. Is the brother working in his basement, working in the garage. Look at those kids. Look at those kids over in Africa. It's kids over there making robots out of cardboard. Come on, baby. What?
Yeah, cardboard, tires, and
yeah,
a bunch of other stuff.
Can you imagine if they were over here with us and they could get some money? Oh, you know, and then but see, that's the whole point. As I'm telling you, family, don't get it twisted. Foundational Black Americans are the new Egyptians. We're the new Egyptians, and we're the new Egyptians because we went through an ethnogenesis. Aboriginal Blacks, Black Irish, Sub-Saharan Africans. See, they built all of this ish. I'm gonna tell you something. When you look at medieval European architecture, it ain't nothing but a copy of the cities of Timbuktu and others. The castles are the same. The only thing, they put a roof over it. See,
yep.
When you think about the fact that it was Black engineers that built the cities in Britain, we already know that what's his name who did the almanac? He the one who outlined in since Washington D.C. What's his name?
Benjamin Banneker.
Yeah, Benjamin Banneker. See, and yet they tell your kid can't learn. You know, just this week, Hunkle, the governor of New York City, of the state of New York, said that black kids don't know what a computer is. You can't even, every kid who go to school had to work with a computer just about every day.
Yep.
And yet she could have the nerve to say that because she really feels in the sense that we're an ignorant people.
Right.
See, they try to hide the knowledge from us. And so those people, I'm not going to say who those people are, but they killing off a lot of people over there in the Middle East. But those people, they told America, you don't need that nigga in the closet. And America ain't been nothing since. Because there's no science coming out of America because we are the science. They want to teach you that we're the drugs. They want to teach us that all we got is sisters like Sexy Red, you know, and all she want to do is lick her tongue out like a woman instead of a woman having a vagina, you want her tongue. I don't know men who want that, you see, and yet even though they made Sexy Red, Sukihana, and the other broad, some of these other ones, you know, Meg the Stallion or whatever her name is and stuff. And, you know, even though they made them the symbols, you know, the damn astronauts, the American astronauts didn't want to go in space until a sister worked out the figures. They didn't even trust the damn computer. They trusted the sister's figures more than that. Nigga, what? Don't let them tell you. Look, I wish I could fade to black. I wish I could fade to black. So you can see in a sense who we are.
It's so then he fades to black. So look, in real time, I think that what happens is the ethnogenesis and the paper genocide that Black Americans went through, you know, that they have the same prefix, right? Or suffix. They've got the same root, genid, you know, Genesis. There. And then, but in a genocide, everybody dies, right? In a genesis, it's the beginning of, and then here on this landmass, you know, you've got a people who wouldn't die off and something else happened, right? You know, and I don't think that makes us better per se, because I saw in the chat, somebody said, I think it was Jose, he said he looked you up and you're a Black supremacist, and I don't think there's anything such thing. There's no such thing as a Black supremacist.
Yeah,
but
we don't run nothing.
Right. But people start saying, well, you know, your confidence and how you feel about yourself. And that's how, you know, that's what white supremacy is. They think they're better than everybody, and thinking you're better than everybody and having the evidence to support nobody being able to do the things that they do without you. I don't know if that makes us better, as much as we should just appropriately define or label, categorize, spell it the right way, right? And then we won't be stuck on stupid.
You know, people over the past 20 years have tried to write in a sense a Wikipedia entry for Dr. Clyde Winters. They remove it immediately. This other guy, he's been a troll. He's been trolling me for at least 10 years. He's been trolling me for 10 years. He created this thing called Rational Wiki, and in Rational Wiki, I'm the most racist. But see, that's because the fact is they say I'm very racist. See, white people couldn't argue with me. How can they argue with me? I got facts. I bring receipts. You know, and so then the thing is, they couldn't argue with me, they couldn't beat me, and then what made them really mad? What made them really mad is that, you know, I said, damn, these people, you know, I said, it wasn't bad enough that I wrote articles in linguistics, wasn't bad enough that I wrote articles in history and anthropology, but then when I started publishing articles in genetics, that pissed them off, because they said, How could these genetic professors publish article by an Afrocentric scholar? Dr. Great Redders. That's why they call me Dr. Dumbass. You see, you know, but again, in a sense. And so, you know, it was even a movement. I remember Caviezel, you know, I used to publish a lot of letters in the PLOS. And Caviezel said, y'all got to stop publishing those letters by Clyde Winters, Dr. Clyde Winters. He's not part of the clique. No, I'm not part of your white ass supremacy clique. I'm sorry, I'm not part of it. But I don't give a damn. See, my publications I got almost 300 publications. You can go find my work at Academia EDU. You can find my work at you can find my work at go to Google Scholar. Put in Clyde Winters at Google Scholar. It'll show you how often my work is cited. See, I don't play. See, I didn't ask to live this long, but my sons, they all tell me I must have to do this. I'm doing this until you guys can take over. Please, Antonio King, D. Dennis, you know, Marsha, Dorvell, take my place. You can take my place tomorrow. I don't give a damn.
Stop saying that shit.
I don't care. See, I don't care because see, remember. You see, you got to remember this. Number one, I didn't expect to live to get to be 21. See, me and my wife, we thought we were going to be killed in the revolution. So, damn, that was it. See, I know if you ever seen it, Conan the Barbarian, you know, see, that was my ride. See, if I threw down, she was going to throw down. They might push a little ass down, but she would try to fight. She would try to probably fight till they push her ass down. But they got to get through me. But they would have had to get through me. But see, that's the whole point is that, see, love it. You got to love it. You got to love your people. And see, that's the beauty. That's the wonderful thing that my wife allowed me to have. She wanted me to love my people. She loved her people. She said, Clyde, you know, the only thing I hate is that they took our language away from us. They took our language away from us, you see. But then in a sense, now from my research on the Black Europeans, now I know that English is basically built upon ancient Egyptian and Phoenician. See, so then in a way, that's why we master that too. See, that's why we master that too. And see, that's what it's all about, is that we have these conversations every week, and we have these conversations so that I can talk to my queen. See, so we can talk to the queen and the.
Here he goes again. I'm just Eve, right? No, I appreciate the symbolism. I like that we can use symbols to make things make sense. But every Wednesday, it's a reality check. You know, you might not have had these thoughts. You might have had these thoughts. Maybe you had these thoughts, but you didn't think that anybody cared or gave a damn about where you were coming from or what you were going to be doing. I think that every Wednesday, I saw it in the chat, you're happy that Dr. Winters is talking to the youth. Me too. Because like he keeps saying, he doesn't expect to still be here. He didn't want to still be here. He very much wants to be doing something else on another plane. But while we have him, I think that some of these conversations can go far because you guys have thoughts that people don't want you to have. They don't want you to have it because as soon as you start asking questions, you start diving down a rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole is very dark. And they don't want you to know how dark it is because it's so bright. Like Dorvell has been reminding us all night. Black first, brilliance first, illumination, light, and the passing of information to the masses. That sounds pretty black to me. But maybe you think black is bleach and bleak. And that's how they've been able to take our story, our words, and get you stuck on stupid. Being able to name yourself, that's power.
That's
so,
right.
But it doesn't mean you get to lie because it is power, but you don't get to lie. There's a responsibility to the people you're talking to, when you're going to claim certain powerful things.
Like Jose PBS HS says. Also, I think they said you weren't qualified because you weren't a geneticist and didn't study genetics in college. See, that's because you don't understand population genetics. When people talk about various populations, what are they using? They're using craniometrics because see, genetics don't mean this. You know, you can't tell what race a person is by their genes.
Right.
See? But you can tell what race a person is through the craniometrics. What did that skeleton look like? And see, the thing is that I was able to write genetics articles because of the fact in the sense that I'm an anthropologist.
There you go.
And geneticists, they had to use anthropology to support whatever they're doing And see, and now it's even worse because the fact is this: how do you think they want to talk about Indo-Europeans, which is all a bullshit? It's all a lie. See, but see, the thing is this: is that's why they call it archaeogenetics. And so, if you understand in a sense archaeology, anthropology, then therefore, in a sense, you can do this.
It sounds like first frequency type shit, where anthropology is the study of the people.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to cut you off, but see, Jose, he said I didn't know about that. No, you couldn't tell no, you can't tell by genetics because see, okay, white people carry R1b, the Y chromosome R1b, but we carry R1b too. They only call it V88 and they call it as R269. But Anzac boy is 10,000 years old. He carried R1b. 10,000 years ago. Today, 25% of foundational Black Americans carry R1b. That means that many of us have been having the same ancestry for over 10,000 years. You know what that means? But see, that's the whole point. See, is that I teach a research course. And when I teach in my research course, I teach my students how to do all that type of research. Do you know that Sister Shanice Lindsay, she wrote on King Arthur, and she wrote on a lot of the Black Scottish and Black Irish. Do you know over there they're setting up a team at Cambridge University to study the nigger kings, the Scottish kings. And do you know they invited her? And in a way she felt kind of funny because I don't have a PhD in this, but because she knew how to write, because she knew how to do the research, they said, damn, this woman, she must be a professor somewhere because she publishes articles. That's because I taught her how.
There you go. Join his class, man.
Yeah, but it's interesting. But it's like D. Dennis said. Most of these sciences, genetics, anthropology, are flooded by Europeans so that they can hide Black people being the first of everything. That's true, but it's not only that, but you had to understand, to be a geneticist, or even to be an archaeologist, to be an Egyptologist, geneticist, all that, you had to go to school for 7 years just to get your PhD. Think about this. The average person who gets a PhD, they spend over $100,000. $100,000. That's why most Black people end up with ABD, all but the dissertation, because they don't know how to write their dissertation. See, if they knew how to write, because see, remember, what makes you a PhD as opposed to an ABD? The only difference between a PhD and ABD is that the person with a PhD wrote a dissertation. Right. They wrote a book, an article, whatever. Now, at some places, but you're going to still pay that $100,000 even if you buy one at some of these other institutions. A lot of places now, I had to do a lot of research, but at some of these schools now, all you had to do is write a 60-page paper. 60 pages to get your PhD. But a lot of people can't do that because they don't know the fundamentals in terms of research. But again, in the sense is that it's all about Amir. How you doing, Amir? And D. Dennis and Teresa Miller. But the whole point is this: is that I come to you here. We're just talking talk. My Thursday show is mainly all about history. But see, it's so much that we've been lied to about. You saw how Just Eve and also Dorville, they talked about the fact, first we were 3/5 of human, then we're 100 million. We're the majority here, see. But the whole point is this, is that, how do you think Obama got elected twice? And he won states in the South that haven't voted Democratic again. See, that's because we came out and voted. That's why they've been so much trying to keep us from voting, see. But what you had to remember in a sense is that
Dr. Winters is being funny tonight, right? No, Obama, he was able to find the hidden Blacks. And I think that there's a lot of hidden colors out here. See what I did there? No, I think in real time when Black people feel like the language is specific to us, then we will go out of our way to make sure that we're participating in the conversation. Once we feel like it's not, the math ain't mathin', then people stop showing up. But I know that it was not the cool white people who voted Obama in. No, it definitely was the Blacks that they are not counting on these census records, or the Blacks who don't want to count themselves on the census records. I think that in real time we've been so harmed as a community where, why do you want to know who all's in this house? And what do you need to know about what I've got going on over here? And is it because you're trying to do something to me? Because I don't think there's been a lot of help as there's been a lot of hurt. And inside of the help or hurt, you might just take a beat and fall back from all of the participation. But that's a spell. They tell us to vote blue because the Democrats speak for us, or they tell us to vote because our ancestors died for the right to. And in real time, all of it is a spell. Because if we're saying what people died for the right to do, it would have been for the choice to do either one of those things, vote or not vote, stay at home or don't stay at home. But if the people that are teaching you things are not telling you the whole story, well, you'll be stuck on stupid, or you'll get lost in the spell. You will be intoxicated by the drug that is a lie. And it's a widespread lie. Everybody has the same lie. And then the people who have removed themselves from that lie and start digging deep, like Doravelle and Dr. Winters and some of y'all in the chat, they start telling you that you're crazy, or words don't really mean what you say they mean, or that's not what you thought it was. It's something else. But if you do the research yourself, you'll find that they're lying to you. And why would they want to keep you stuck on stupid?
Just like this white boy right here. He says, if you're going to make up facts, then we're just talking Disneyland history. That's right. Yes, it's Disneyland history that we made the telephone work. It's Disneyland history that we made the electric light bulb. It's Disneyland history that we're the ones who made the first computer. It's Disneyland history in a sense that we made the first cell phone. It's Disneyland history in a sense that we made, we made the first program that allows us to communicate on the internet. Oh yes, Disneyland history. Bawana Haguziki, just stay in your white paradise. Stay in your fear of understanding. See, when you come and hear Dr. Winters and Eve talk, we're trying to tell our people the truth. We're talking to our people. You're here in a sense. You're here to try to pick up on some knowledge. You're here in a sense to try to in a sense persuade people and hopefully point people in a sense down the ignorant road. See, just like Jose PBHS. By simple fact that he says, Jose, I had to believe that he's a mestizo nationalist. But we don't care. See, we don't care because the truth will set us free. See,
the truth will set you free. Look, in real time, everything that we've talked about, and look, I'm just Eve. I don't have any doctor credentials behind my name. I do have some credentials, but not for what we're talking about. You can look it up. I don't think that we've ever said that we're the authority on things as much as we have some information that is researchable, that could be falsified if you have the evidence to do so.
Yeah.
So,
and see, and here's like Bawana Haguziki, stay in your white supremacist world because it's Disneyland numbers when you say you're 100 million or you're the only ones that built the railroads. We know we built the railroads. You can look at the records. The railroads bought in a sense slaves. They had chattel slaves, and they used these chattel slaves to build the railroads. Do you really think it wasn't any damn railroads until the Chinese started building them? You're a dumbass. And see, that's what I love about you white supremacists. You're dumb. And the reason you're dumb is because you don't think. See, you don't think. You think because you went to university. You think because in the sense that you sat in some classroom and they taught you a bunch of lies, you believe those lies. See, I don't have to lie. I bring the receipts. See, I bring the receipts. We made the resistor. See, Those things you can't change it because that is what the whole foundation of this country is built on. Name a great invention made by a white man. Name an invention made by the white man that worked. Name one that worked. Even what's that?
The patent office. That might be the other one.
Well, they did invent the patent office and said niggas don't apply.
You don't qualify anymore because I can put my name on it. So
right, So then, I mean, hey, who cares? Who cares? See, who cares? The point is this: is that if you come here, we're going to tell you the truth. Okay, we in 2 hours. Did you want to make a summation, Just Eve?
I like that this conversation has you guys uncomfortable because the spells that have been cast on us are uncomfortable. To be removed from your story on your land in real time is a lot of harm. But then you've got people in real time who want to help you uncover the truth, help you break some of these generational curses, help you dive deep into the spells, because let me tell you, I really believe that they're using some magical shit against us, and it's up to us to kind of reverse it. So I guess it's as spooky as I'm gonna get tonight, but y'all be good tonight. Black first.
This thing about Albert Einstein, he did a lot of theoretical stuff, but he never created anything. See, but he's one of them folks, and so they play their folks up, Goodbye, everybody.
If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears and stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. What I say. Don't let them suck control your atmosphere. Distraction away from you. What I say. I am you and control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. What I say. Don't let them suck your energy. What I say. It's a distraction away from me. I am you and you are me. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do.